was anybody else, I could probably try to defend her, but I'm not defending her. Um, I think you guys are right on with her. A regular woman, I would, but not her. Not that like, and then the fact, like you said, your character says like, why do you come out? You got to have this whole production. Like, are you trying to prove your loyalty to your new
Right.
husband? Like, what's the point of that? Like, I don't get
Right.
that. So she just like once you watch the show, and I'm like, you put this together. I'm like, yeah, that's not. She doesn't have like good discernment and decision making to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Shaq apologizing now. She was a solid woman and all of that stuff. It's to make him look better too, kind of because like why we all can see that she ain't it. But anyway, to answer the question, as far as the kids and stuff like that, I'm not really gonna say what I'm telling my kids because I found out myself that you just can't bring any old body home to me. See, what had happened was, I went and brought my person to my parents, and I was like expecting. I literally was like, "No, my parents not gonna accept you." They was like, "Sure, just take her, whatever." Like, and not really telling me their reservations. And boy, did I mess up,
They
So
was trying to get rid of your ass.
they was. They really was. I was like, damn, I can't go to campus and I got to get married to this guy. I felt like it was almost arranged, but I picked him. So I'm like, oh, well, I got to do what I got to do. That's what happened with your girl, Ruth. 3 daughters later. Anyway, so they was like, wait, you going to keep having babies? Wait, this is backfiring. I was like, well, should have told me before. But then later on, they was telling me, we didn't like him for this or that reason. And I was like, dang, I should have told me. I was waiting. So for me, I have a great relationship with my kids. Some of them listen, some of them take my advice, some of them don't. But I do give my opinion. Is it going to be, and I think you should start them early. See, if you're teaching them the ABCs, but you're not teaching them, hey, like the other day, I had to tell my son, we don't like girls that throw our popsicles in the trash. Stop liking mean girls. He's only 4 years old. He crying about a girl,
Mm-hmm.
and he like girls that's mean to him. So I'm starting early to let him know, like this is you. You don't wait till they're 16 years old to start trying to dictate who they're dating. So, and then there's certain people I'm like, listen, I believe in black love. Now, if they bring somebody else, I will always embrace it, but my preference would be to build a solid black unit. So that's what I think. I think that you can come
Hey,
up and raise your family whatever way you want. You just let them know what you like. If it's a good person, okay. But I'm giving them the reasons why. The reasons why before you bring me anybody I don't like. This is the reasons why. These are the issues that can happen. If you feel like you can deal with that, then go ahead, have at it. But if not, this is the right route we go.
hey, you got to let that young warrior go through that stage of that heartbreak, man. Because if he don't do it now, then you know what I'm saying, he gonna be looking for it once he get older. You know that go ahead and let him experience them girls throwing away
I
his
broke his heart.
chocolate.
I told him he can't see her. Yeah, his heart is broken. Yep. Heart broke. Check.
Hey, but I to your first point about Shaq, I think that Shaq is genuinely hurt by the decision that he made with breaking up his marriage, essentially, or at least what we can assume on the surface. Of course, now that we know that she was never in love with him, we can absolutely say that she was definitely sabotaging the marriage itself. But um one of the interviews that I saw of Shaq that I'll never ever forget was where he said he was in like this 6,000 square foot mansion, and he came home and that motherfucker was empty. You know, no man wants to experience or feel that, especially to achieve that level of success, and to essentially have it all and then to lose it all. No man in his right mind is going to want to accept that and not feel genuinely some way about it. So I do
Can I
think
push
that.
back, Vic?
Go ahead.
Do we
That's what
feel
we're here
bad
for.
for a woman that uh decides not to have kids or have a career, or she has 5 children by different fathers? You're like, no, she spent her youth. She did what she did in her 20s, and we don't feel bad for her. So why all of a sudden we got to feel bad for these guys that got to deal with their career? They got to deal with every
No,
woman
I didn't
they
say that
have
we
their
got to feel
reward.
bad for him. That wasn't what I said. I said that I think that Shaq genuinely felt bad for the decision that he's made. That's what I said. I didn't say that we have to feel bad for him. Everybody make their own decisions. You make your bed, you got to lay in that motherfucker.
All right, let's go to get the Trev. Your thoughts
All
about this,
right.
man? You parenting?
So I'll say this: we just got to kind of look at the type of dude that Shaq is. Like Marcus said, he swung around with Superhead. He was with remember Hoops? Y'all remember Hoops from like Flavor of Love? We even saw him running around with Brittany Renner recently. All of these women who were deemed
That boy got a type.
on
He ain't wrong.
undesirables as far as women are. But even with that, you've never heard him use any disparaging remarks towards women, even with the quality of women that he dealt with. That's just not something that he is in the business of. So he's never going to say anything horrible about Shaunie, particularly that was the mother of his children, and he considers that right. So he's going to keep it. He's just going to keep it playing. I think there was probably a lot going on in the background. Remember when he got with her, he was pretty young. He realized likely later on what type of female she really was, and there's going to be some things that are just missing. A lot of females just think that men are these horned dogs with an insatiable thirst for sex, but that's not really the case. It was likely something missing from his relationship. He was missing that attention, that affection. And when you don't get that, sometimes you go out and play. He's chasing something. And I mean, we could think of what we want about it, but in all honesty, he was likely missing something from home. And he realized he was in a situation that he knew would go bad, and he didn't want to leave his family because he didn't want to come home to that big ass empty house. So he said, all right, I'm gonna rough it out. My opinion, of course, but I really do think he just tried to rough it out for as long as he could. Because and I think he really was in love with her as well. But there was just certain things that he probably didn't feel he should be deprived of. And he was, in my opinion, chasing them with the other women. And I think he's probably not going to get himself in a situation where he's married again. He had his children, he had his family, and that might be it. Now, as far as the children are concerned, everybody made some really good points. It definitely does have to start early, but the main thing is you have to build that trust for your children to be able to listen to you. They have to understand that you're always right. It is what it is. I tell my children all the time. I give them every simple example of, damn it, I'm always right. Look at this. Look at this. I'll point it out. I'm always right. It is what it is. And once they build that type of trust, and of course the openness, they have to also trust you in that sense where they know you can talk to them without judgment and you'll have some sort of understanding. So I'm making my business to be hip to a lot of things that are going on, modern trends, what children are dealing with, just understanding the differences between generations. I try to make myself relatable. So I'll introduce them to a lot of the new artists and stuff that's coming out. They understand I'm more hip than them. I'll just say that. But I make an effort to be. I try to be into pop culture. I try to be into everything just so they could understand, okay, he knows what he's talking about. Because they have to believe you. If they don't believe you, they're just going to do their own thing. And once you plant seeds very early in life, then you kind of trust them. If they ask for my influence, then I'm open for it. But I don't think that I'm going to have too much. I think that the qualities that I've instilled in them early are going to help them later on in life to make those types of decisions. I'm not afraid to talk to them about sex, relationships, birds and the bees, whatever you want to call it. They need to know. I tell them about different types of personalities, about things that you should be able to notice right away, red flags, and just understanding the dynamics of a relationship. So as long as you put the work in early, you should be able to trust that they'll make a good decision. right? They're not going to be perfect, but I don't think they're going to end up with no bums either. And another main thing is they have to understand their worth. If you ain't telling your daughter she's beautiful on a regular basis, and you ain't telling your son he a guy on a regular basis, they won't believe it. They won't understand. They have to understand their worth, so they are more selective when they go out to pick a partner.